The African Institute for Mathematical Sciences is a network of centers of excellence. Master's and PhD level training, teacher training and research, AIMS has it all. The Institute's goal is to help Africa's transformation through mathematics and sciences.
You have a growing, dynamic, young continent. The next Einstein is going to come from that pool. It's a matter of probability, but that probability to me is a certainty. Second, the next Einstein is going to come from Africa because most of African brightest people, African young people, are curious. They are excited about knowledge. They want to learn, they want to know, they want to discover. And we have a leadership in Africa that has understood the relevance and the importance of science.
This includes ICT, physics, financial mathematics, and robotics, among many other things. With 50 students a year per center hailing from 42 countries across Africa, AIMS uses an innovative way and approach to help solve challenges across the continent.
Mathematical sciences is important because it has been, at the beginning, it has been the determining factor of what Europe witnessed as industrial revolution. Without mathematical sciences, you wouldn't have the Silicon Valley revolution. We have light today because at some point there has been breakthrough in the field of science, and particularly in mathematical sciences.
With South Africa, Senegal, Ghana, Cameroon, and Tanzania already on board, AIMS hopes to launch its sixth center here in Rwanda.
With the power of youth demographics on the continent, and with the hunger of young people for science, the next Einstein is going to come from the continent.
A promising initiative. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us in studio now is Thierry Zomahoun, President and CEO of the African Institute of Mathematical Sciences. Welcome to the show, Thierry.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so when you first thought of implementing this center, you've done it in 5 countries now. What was the idea behind it to begin with?
The idea behind AIMS growth over the past decade is basically to lead the transformation of Africa scientifically, technologically, and economically. We want to enable Africa's brightest students to really be game changers and lead the development and transformation of the continent by providing them with the skills they need to really position themselves on the global market and in a Pan-African wise. The second thing that we set out to do from the very beginning is to bring Africa to the cutting edge of science. Africa cannot sustain its current growth, and Rwanda is one of the examples of doing extraordinarily very well in terms of economic growth. But if Rwanda wants to sustain its current growth, leapfrog its transformation, it has to develop homegrown scientific and technical talent, which is one of the raison d'etre of AIMS, what we've been doing. The third reason why we're doing this, and to your point, is to add value to the immense, vast resources that Africa has. Right now, you have many countries across Africa. Africa is endowed with massive natural resources. But what is happening? What you see happening is that we cannot transform our natural resources here. We cannot refine our oils here. We cannot transform, well, coffee. Rwanda might be doing something, but is that all we want? We cannot transform our cocoa on the continent. We have to ship them. And when we receive the chocolate back, it costs a lot of money. You cannot add value to the massive resources Africa is endowed with without training people capable of transforming those natural resources on the continent. And the best way in which you can do this is by enabling young Africans, providing them with technical skills to transform those natural resources. And when it comes to services like banking, technology, ICT, information, and health, you need people who have the technical skills. And the best way to strengthen technical skills is to invest in mathematical sciences, which is the backbone of modernity.
Now, how do you handpick the countries? You have centers in 5 countries now, Rwanda possibly the 6th country. What's specific about those countries that got your attention, that made you want to have an AIM center in those countries?
In the countries where we operate currently, one of the major criteria we look for is to find an environment which is peaceful. You cannot do science, great science, in a war-torn country. So that's number one criteria. The second criteria we look for going into a country is that that country should have policies which are conducive for doing science and world-class science. And then the third criteria, we want to work with partners. We don't go into a country to compete with academia, with other academics, with other research scientists. We go into those countries because we want to work with the local academics. We want to work with national research scientific institutions and be able to do something at a national scale which is meaningful for the country. So those are the 3 criteria we look for. Now, if I have to say, in the case of Rwanda, Rwanda is a unique example. Rwanda is going to be something completely unique and bigger and more original than what we have experienced so far. We look for a 4th dimension by making the decision to go into Rwanda. That is a visionary leadership. Visionary leadership and pro-science state leadership. And your president, His Excellency, President Kagame, has shown the whole world and Africa that he's keen on leading the technological, innovative transformation of Rwanda and position his country as a Pan-African hub for harnessing science and technology for Africa's transformation. We buy into that vision. That's what we believe in. That's what we've been doing. And that criteria is key for us to be here. And I said it's unique. Unique because Rwanda is not just going to be another center of excellence. We come in here with a combination of offer which will position Rwanda as home for the next generation of Africa's scientific transformation on a global stage. We're coming in with not only a center of excellence, which includes postgraduate training, cutting-edge research, linking up young, bright African scientists to industry, to government services. We're coming in with a very innovative and award-winning teacher training program, but we're also coming in to position Rwanda for Rwanda and Africa, by the way, for the next quantum revolution. You know that what you're using in this studio is based on digital revolution. This is going to be obsolete in a decade from now. You may no longer want to use these digital, by the way, you cannot use them. So the quantum revolution, where information technologies will be faster, billions-fold faster than what it is now, is what we want to prepare Rwanda and the whole continent for. So we're planning to set up in Africa the very first research institute specialized in quantum science and technologies. So this is one of the reasons why I'm saying that Rwanda case is unique. It's going to be original. It's going to be a game changer, not only for Rwanda, but particularly for the entire world.
Now, the selective process, I mean, when it comes to students who follow these classes, who are in those centers, I saw the numbers and the countries they originate from. It's about 42 countries, I believe. How's the process like? How do you handpick the students that actually go to those centers?
We have a very competitive and rigorous process of selection. The students apply via a unique portal. We have academic councils that compose of dignitaries from academia, world-class research scientists, great professors who know their business, who know what they're talking about. They look at the applications. And for example, this year we received roughly 3,000 applications for just 250 seats. It tells you about how serious this process is. Not everyone is going to get in. Only the best, the creme of the creme, are going to get in. So we got three broad assessment criteria. Number one is academic excellence. We don't compromise excellence at AIMS. We believe that the next generation of African leaders and scientists or African entrepreneurs must be endowed with the skills that which are cutting edge, novel skills, authentic. And if we play with the academic excellence, you're not going to get a great generation of African leaders. The second broad assessment criteria is one that is not tangible, but still real. We look at the leadership potential of the student. If it's a Regis applying to be a student at AIMS, we'll look at your potential for leadership. Because what Africa needs today, if you look at your own country, let me divert a little bit, how far you guys have come in just 2 decades to be where you are now. It's not about technique. It's not about technology. It's not about math. It's about leadership. Science plus leadership will transform this continent. So we look at the leadership potential. And the third broad assessment criteria is your commitment to this continent. We don't want to train people who will flee or leave the continent
and take their
Rwanda,
talents elsewhere.
and just go elsewhere, just go to the States and set up. We have nothing against that.
Right.
We favor brain circulation. You can go because Africa cannot do anything in isolation. But we look at the fundamental, the genuine commitment of young people in Africa to this continent. We want them to stay. We want them to be doing something that will really transform the continent.
Well, sir, we appreciate you being on the show. And I wasn't that great in mathematics, but this makes me want to, get into it and see how I can help my continent too. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.